Okay, Jack, you guys about ready? It's 9:30 there. I think everybody's ready. We'll get started this morning. We're going to call the council meeting to order this morning. We're going to start this morning, and we're going to have Dawson do the pledge, and Bergen will do the prayer if you don't mind, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Shall we bow? Our Heavenly Father, we come to you this day with heavy hearts, and we pray that your loving arm will be around each one, all the people, lost loved ones, the ones that are volunteering, the ones that are serving, whatever capacity they may be working in. We pray that your blessings will be with each one. And as we go through our meeting, we pray that be with each one, that we say the things and do the things you want us to do. Be with their service people as they protect us and help and guide us in each and every way. Forgive us our shortcomings. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Okay, our first order of business this morning will be to approve the minutes from the prior meeting. Any comments on the minutes?
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Unanimous.
Dustin went here and is gonna.
I see you. Okay. Sondale, we're going to move you up since Dustin's not here, if that's okay with everybody. Come ahead. Give you a little break there.
Thank you. Thank you for seeing me this morning. What I wanted to request is that at the Williams building, we have an ambulance and our vehicle that's facing the north side. There's one garage door that we use now. We're having to park our vehicle all the way up against the wall, basically within an inch. And then what's happening is the ambulance, when they back it in, they're backing it in right next to us, where we have to pull an ambulance out and get our vehicle out, back the ambulance back in, close the garage door. What I propose is that we use money out of the New Life Generation Fund, which I believe is $7,500. Is that right, Michelle? I think that's the amount that's in there. What I want to do is going to cost about $2,000, but I want a garage door opener for myself and two of my deputies, and have something in the vehicle to where instead of going all the way through the building every time, raising the garage door, going out manually, closing the garage door, we can all have garage openers where we can open the door, get in, get our vehicle and get out. I'd like to put up some bumpers. I've talked with Troy, with the EMS out there, that we could place a couple of TV bumpers to allow room for everybody to get around the vehicles, to where we don't have to spend 5 to 10 minutes every time figuring out what's going on and moving the vehicles around. I've got bids here to cut the hole out. I've got bids for the actual garage door itself, and everything comes to about $2,060.
Okay.
And I wanted to know, with your permission and with everything, that if I'm allowed to use $2,000 out of my New Life Generation money to do that, to make it a lot easier for us, where we can get in and out a lot easier. Now, I've already talked to the highway. We have to build up a little ramp right there on the north side of that building where we put the garage door in at, and the guy said that wouldn't take anything for them to do that.
That's not way to-
$7,500, that's what I was thinking the fund was, $7,500.
We have to reappropriate that money for that.
Is that,
That's in the corners fund.
yeah, that's the line item
4705.
4905?
4705.
Okay.
Yeah, Ron, is this something you've talked to the commissioners about doing?
I've talked to everybody but John Mishler. I ran into Dave Brown, and he kind of brought it up.
I know.
You know about it, and I ran into John Falst in the Exchange Club meeting, and I kind of just brought it to their attention that
And
we
you're
do.
going to meet with them tomorrow?
Absolutely. If I'm able to, if I'm not, my deputy will be there, and they kind of say that's kind of my fund, but I want everybody to be aware of what the money's going to, that it's not tax dollars, that it's my New Life Generations, and that's the money that we give every time we do an organ tissue harvest. They give us $1,000. And I keep putting that money in there to do stuff like this to help my office out, to where taxpayers aren't at burden here.
So what does it take to get this done? Just say you got some bids there?
I've got I had tried to get 3 bids on the actual cutting out of the door, and one of them came back as $850. It was Raymond Lee. And then I got actually 2 of my 3 bids back on the garage door, which there was ABC Garage and then Sprinkler, which they were within $75. I feel like the, I'm sorry?
ABC's local.
That's why I would like to go with them. They're $60 or $70 higher, but they're a local group. I feel like that's probably the best thing to do there. So for 50 or 60 bucks, I don't think it's worth
Yeah.
fighting that we're gonna be able to use a
Well,
local
Raymond's
guy.
local too.
Yeah, Raymond Lee's local, yes.
So the total amount we'd be approving here this morning was what again?
$2,060 is what these bids are. Now, there was a standing bid on Raymond's part. We're not for sure what's in the wall. It's an old wall. There's 2 reinforcement 4x4s and 6x6s there. We don't know if there's any electrical work in there or not. And his bid was, if there's any electrical work in the wall, there will be a charge for moving electrical work, which we don't know what we're gonna get into until they start cutting into the wall.
So,
About $3,000.
well, that's what I was just wondering if we shouldn't do a contingency based upon,
Okay,
well, yeah, but your money will just stay in, we'll
Right.
do 3,000, and then you just use that, do we?
Well,
we need
see,
to-
I don't technically, I think it's whatever I wanna do, but
Well, that's why. I was
when I
wondering if
open
it's
door
just-
policy, I want everybody to be aware of this is something that's
Well, I'd
definitely
say,
needed.
I'll just ask for a consensus of the council then, just for the pure nod of the head.
I think it's appropriate use of money.
So, I think you're good to go.
All right,
Thank
thank you. And I do want to bring to the council's attention, last year we were up 26.5% across the board. We were able to keep everything within budget. That's not gonna happen this year. I've kept my line, my budget for 4 years the same. Next year it's gonna have to come up. There's no way around it. We're already at 23 calls this year. Last year was 78. The year before that was 62. The year before that was 60. Everything just keeps gradually going up, and it's just gonna keep getting worse. And I'm doing everything I can to keep it within my limit, but this year I am gonna have to have an increase probably across the board. I just wanna bring it to everybody's attention. Okay?
Thank you. Is Dustin still not with us here? Okay. Well, while you're trying to get a hold of Dustin, then we're gonna move into other business here. One of the things I'd like to accomplish this morning is we're in pursuit of taking a look at our present jail facility, and we've been asked to form a committee, and we've kind of partially got that committee formed. We need to form a 3-person committee, and we've already had 2 people apply for the position, and I need one other that would be willing to serve as we begin to review this thing. So I would
All volunteer.
be volunteer to do that. Okay, you want to form that committee, the rebels and we'll be looking at whatever comes forward as far as working with the sheriff and the architect and those people. I know they've already done a little preliminary thing, but we're just gonna be taking and reviewing and see what the need might be and what the requirements of that need might be and several different things. And I'm not in a position today to give any numbers or those kind of things because I really don't know what that's going to be. I just know, due to the request of the sheriff, that there is, in his feeling, a need to do something. So we're gonna start another review of that process, which I think our last review may have been 2005, and I think I quoted that correctly. One of the other things I want to bring up in other business this morning is that John Revels, myself, Mervyn, and John Fultz had an opportunity last week to go down and visit with Harrison County and thank them for their continued support as far as our riverboat monies are concerned, that 2% share. We shared a meal together. We also attended their meeting and made a presentation of our letter of thanks. And I tell you what, they were most appreciative of our coming and showing, and a couple comments made that we might be one of the only counties so far that's even showed any appreciation. And I know John had taken a couple items and some were donated, and I'll make a comment. Rhonda, your gifts were well received, I might add.
Well, thank
what they
you.
were.
Thank you.
And very much thought of, and we also had done some of our local maple syrup here, and they was very appreciative, and kind of made the acknowledgement that they would continue supporting us, and of course, we have the contract with them, but a lot of question about that riverboat money, but one of the things that was a little enlightening is that the state of Kentucky has kind of backed off on their bid for some gambling in their area, which was made local papers, but it'll be coming back. But they felt like this year with the reopening of the bridge, they've already seen some increases there, so hopefully we can continue to get at least at the level we had received last year. But those numbers are all predicated off of their revenues. So, like I say, Mervyn, you was there. You got anything else to add?
You pretty well covered it. We did have a letter both from the commissioners and council. John Foltz read the commissioner letter, and Ben read the council letter, and very well received. And that's something I've heard ever since we've been in this with Riverboat, is that we're, I think, probably the county that really says thank you, county commissioners and council, of what they're doing for us. We get, that figure is gonna be down some, but they're saying now it is coming back up, so good meeting.
Yes, very well received. Dusty, you want to come on in and take the seat, sir? You're here.
I'm sorry, I had it on my calendar for tomorrow. Some kind of miscommunication somewhere. Our fault, I'm sure.
Yeah, since we're all here.
I'm the president of the Substance Abuse Council. In our court process, when there are people who are convicted of substance abuse violations, they're assessed a fee that, and part of that money goes to an account at the auditor's office that's held for disbursement by the Substance Abuse Council. We submitted a budget request of $30,768.81. You guys revised that to $25,000. We're requesting that you release from that account $5,686.48 additional, which won't empty the account, but it will allow the Substance Abuse Council to do what it does, which is operate with operating expenses plus disperse grant money to organizations in the county that are fighting substance abuse. That's all statutorily set up, created those accounts. We do submit a budget, although the money in there, I think, has to go to the Substance Abuse Council. So I don't think there's any, I think the statute would say that the money should go to that, how the council lays it out. I don't know what got it from 30,000 down to 25 in the first place, but and it probably was the council maybe not being clear about what we used it for. You know, our council, not you guys. But our annual budget for this year is based on that 30,000 amount. So if we're going to continue to operate, we gave out the 25,000 in grants, so we need that 5,000 or so.
So you're asking for an additional appropriation of that amount of money?
If that's how you guys do it.
It's 5,000 something.
5,686.48. The money's already in there. Actually, we operate sort of off last year's money, which is a good way to operate, so we know what we have and we budget off of that. So the money's there already before we spend it, instead of it coming in.
So we have that much left in the
It's
fund.
in the front, yeah.
That's in the fund that can be drawn from. So would we even need to make
I mean, it'll still have to be an additional, yeah.
still have to be an additional? And we have to,
I have to advertise for it. for
yeah,
next
that's what I
meeting.
was gonna say, you have to advertise for the next meeting, so we don't need to do anything other today, or do we need to make the motion for it?
motion to advertise, it's basically what you can do.
That's what I was thinking. So.
I don't know, I mean, does anybody remember, I think, I don't know, Dustin, maybe you and I talked about it, Rita. Anybody remember in the budget sessions why we
It's just always been
went
25,000
down? Did
for
we just cut it
years.
back to what it was?
And, you know, it's one of them fee funds.
Right,
Again.
well, that's what Dustin and I talked about, is, I mean, it's nothing that we can go and use, I mean, it's not hurting our general fund, it's not doing anything like that. I didn't remember any particular discussion about,
And that's,
we're not trying to control them or punish them or anything like that. I couldn't remember why we wouldn't have, if that's what they asked, I don't know why we didn't just go ahead and do the 30, but.
I was sitting there, it's a tab that's, has substance abuse. It's not a tab that's anything else, it's a,
But the account number is 1148, or the new.
Well, yeah,
he's
the
looking
new
for his
account,
budget.
the old
I'm
account
trying
is
to, see if I
4606.
made any notes.
He's trying to find his budget and see if he
Maybe,
makes notes.
for years, Sharon Purley was a substance abuse coordinator, I don't know what their title was, but they were, at that time, received a federal grant that paid her a salary to do that, and they probably submitted that 25, because they had that grant, it went away. In replace of Sharon, we hired somebody
Right here it is.
for $4,000 a year.
What have you got there, Dave, on yours?
The only thing is that's one of those lines that we went in there and cut right here. Yeah, it was right here, we cut it, cause county drug-free fund in there, and it was 35,000. Correct? Yeah, and then it was slashed, and we did that, that's one of our marks as far as slashing 10,000.
It might depend on what, at that time, what was in the fund, might have been why you slashed it too.
Yeah, you might-
Because like Michelle
Fund
says, that
balance,
depends, you
yeah.
can only spend what's in the fund.
Right,
If
and
you're not
that's
gonna
a fee.
get $30,000 isn't in there, you're not gonna get $30,000.
You may have done it, you may have done it so Dustin would have came and he gives you the flag to look at it to make sure it's in the fund.
And
I mean,
only
that may be,
23,004.
so, that may be why you did it.
Say that again for
It only
me.
showed 23,416.
So that's why.
So that's why you probably did it
At
at
that
that
At
time.
that time.
Yeah.
At that time.
Well, we're not, this time, if you move that 5, it's still gonna leave some money in there.
Right.
Right,
So maybe that issue won't come up next year.
so again, do we need a motion to advertise?
Well, that's all you can do.
Don't have to.
You don't have to.
Okay, let's just go ahead.
I guess the question is, yeah, do you want him to be here next time? Do you all understand what's going on?
Yeah.
What was the amount? 5,600?
No,
What was the amount?
56, 86, 48.
Yes.
and the funds available in there. So if we go ahead and make the motion to do that, he wouldn't have to come back?
Well, you're not gonna make the motion until next time. It's just that you all know next time, next meeting, that's gonna be on your agenda.
Okay.
And he-
Basically, and he won't have to come, you're basically gonna pre-publicly approve it.
So we just put it on the wrong date and.
You're right. So
While
you're
I'm here, if I can ask a question too, on something else, if you don't mind. I was told, and I haven't looked into this, but that the county staff received raises this year, starting January 1 this year. But that Melissa, my deputy prosecutor, wasn't included in that for some reason. So I'd like to check on that, if she wasn't, if we could remedy that. Okay.
She wasn't a part-time person, was she?
No, but there could be, because chief deputy and prosecutor both get paid from the state. She's the only attorney in the office that get paid from the county,
What's her name?
Campbell. Most of her pay comes from the child support office, and the other, from general fund, but I just want to make sure if everybody got a raise but her, that she could include in that. I don't need to know right now.
I'll-
Later.
I'll get with you later.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
I was talking to Dustin, did you put on for your
Randy Bills. Randy Bills was our volunteer of choice there. I don't see anybody from the park out there. Does anybody on the council have anything you'd like to bring up this morning, or? Yeah.
Might bring up the, and I won't be here the next, the first month of next month.
And Mervyn, you had a
Could we get
sentence.
that moved?
Yeah, we're looking at possibly moving the meeting for our next meeting just due to,
Right,
I mean, we have 2
1
out
week.
today.
move it
Up a week or behind a week?
up a week.
Well,
Uh-huh.
the next Monday.
You don't wanna do it up a week, I mean, you don't wanna put it in the end of March, do you?
No,
Yeah.
move it back a week.
Yeah, I would call that back, yeah, you call that
Move it back
the ninth.
April the ninth.
You're looking at
Don't
moving
have
it
it.
to the ninth.
until
That's
the
south of
next
6th
week. That's the way we talk down there, Dave.
Hey, we're down south,
Down yonder.
northern people.
Is that-
south of 56?
So actually, our next meeting would have been scheduled for Monday the 2nd.
Right.
You're looking at
The ninth.
possibly moving it back to the 9th,
That's correct.
Right.
okay?
Is that possible?
Michelle's that agreeable with all the results. Commissioner,
I don't know.
well, I shouldn't ask Sarah.
That's a lot of big hardship.
You wanna go see if, I'll go see if this room's available.
Oh,
One
yeah.
thing
Yeah.
we do have to make sure the room's available, I don't know.
Yeah, that might
I
be a
didn't
wise
think about
decision.
that.
Why it would
Yeah,
be.
out there in the-
And if you want to go ahead, but we just have to.
Yeah.
We ain't had it.
I might, while he's checking on that, I might mention that, I'd asked Michelle to check on what our, total true cash value was, of course, realizing, of course, the treasurer's here, but realizing exemptions come off and deductions and all this, but our true cash value, we always have a problem saying that, or assessed value, I've known it so many years, but is, 877 million plus, a little over 877 million, but you know what percentage, Bob, that after deductions, or what percent of deductions? And I know it's surprising how much comes off. But that, the reason I brought it up is because of the park, you know, we're thinking maybe we go with a rate, another rate, bring it back on the park, so, okay. Thanks, Michelle.
Okay, do we need a motion to move this meeting to the 9th?
Finding about the room.
About the room? Oh, okay, he's went to check on the room.
Well, maybe you can clarify some line item questions for me a little bit.
Sure.
1137 cumulative building of the hospital.
Uh-huh.
Is that the arrangements with St. Vincent as far as building rent?
That's the lease rental.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's that, you might be able to explain it better than I can.
It's, well, that was from the original, when the hospital was remodeled back.
It was a 10-year window that was gonna be paid out.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly.
I can't remember the monthly amount, or do you remember, it's twice a year we pay
Yeah,
that.
the second lease, oh, I wanna say a year, but I don't know, maybe thinking of another one that will be paid out at that.
Seems like there's only another year or two on it.
I was thinking like 2014
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
is
Yeah,
when it should be over.
yeah. Since
Now,
I'm a
don't,
rookie.
you know,
Well, I'm not a rookie, I'm a sophomore this year. I mean, freshman to sophomore.
Well, and you're talking about on your funds,
Yeah,
when I came in, the room's available that day. We'll still have to give
Okay.
special notice to the patients.
If you don't mind, Dave, I'm gonna interrupt and
Yes,
ask for the
that's fine.
motion to move the meeting to April the 9th for, they wanna make that motion?
I'll make
I'll
A
second.
All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. So then you'll do the advertising for us. Okay, you can pick back up.
All right, well, just bear with me a little
Wait,
bit.
can I interrupt
Yes,
there?
please.
I've noticed that the auditor gave us our 782s,
Yeah.
and the hospital lease it has a notation rate reduced due to advertising constraints. Does that mean that we advertise a lesser amount for that? If you look on the second page of the 780, or it says page 1 of 2 down at the bottom, I just found that to be a strange little notation on that. Because again, that ought to be a flat,
207,000.
well, but is that less than what
I think it
we've
was-
always gotten? Well, I just found it to be a strange notation on it. That's,
Rate reduced.
it says rate reduced due to advertising constraints. I don't know.
The only thing I know, the reason why because some of them do say that, and I'm saying that's because it's because of when they finally got what the assessed value was, and what we
What we had
advertised
advertised.
is that there was a difference, so they will go, when they made them their exact figures,
Yeah.
then it did reduce it.
Okay, reduce the rate.
Right, yes.
That's
To
'cause it
bring
was
in-
offset
because
with the
assessed
assessed.
value party was more,
More,
and then
right.
when we,
But it's the same amount of funds.
but it's the
same
same
amount
amount,
of funds, yeah,
yes, it
that's
should bring
it.
in the same amount of funds.
What I was.
Local road and streets, same thing.
Yeah.
Mhm, yeah.
Yeah.
But I knew on local roads that we had the advertising issue. I wouldn't have thought we'd have had that with the hospital, because we would have known what that amount is.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask Sarah here in a minute just to cover this with, or have you had time to review that?
I just got it this morning.
You just got it this morning, so we're
I haven't
all
really
at the
sat
kind of
down
the
with-
same level, we just
I
have.
will sit down with
Lay
you and
down in
Michelle, we'll
front of
go
us.
over it and with a fine tooth comb and,
You're saying it this first time?
Well, we may review that at our next meeting after we.
no, it has to be back by the
Oh, you
12th.
gotta have it back by the 12th,
Yes.
so we gotta
review it now.
review it now. I love the way we do this.
Yeah. Well, that general, under general, that's rate reduced to remain within their statutory.
Yeah.
I'm gonna interrupt 1 second, drop this. Have you got your answer yet?
Yeah, I think so.
For the hospital.
And I can see why it would have that on the rate, because when we advertised these budgets, we used a way lower assessed value
Right,
than what came back, because you
You
didn't
don't
know.
know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, since we had this laid in front of us and we gotta get it back, Sarah, I'm gonna ask you to kind of go through with us and we can go through it all together. Mark, you're looking at it, we're all gonna look at it, see if we have any questions as we go through here. And,
well, the main thing I look at, which we already knew because we had talked to Ken before we got our 17 notes, so we did have a lot of notes, and that was Friday, actually, even with everything else going on Friday. The only thing she told us, and what she told Michelle in an email, was that there would be no cuts, that everything that was budgeted would be approved, that we would not have to go in and make any cuts, which was a good thing. That's a good thing.
last year, the only thing I remember we had to cut was something on the bridge fund.
Q2 Bridge Fund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so everything stayed as we,
Right now, everything was budgeted, and everything is budgeted, because they did not come in and say, well, we had to reduce any appropriations or had to reduce the budget on any of the funds.
and just for my understanding, anything where that notation was, it's all due to the fact that the rate was reestablished because of our assessed value, but the amount of monies generated would be the same.
Yes.
Is that a correct statement?
Now again, just because they approved our budget, doesn't mean we're gonna get those actual dollars in.
Exactly.
Well, no, because if,
If people
I
don't
mean, you
pay
know, it's
their
all
taxes.
based on your taxes.
Right.
Yeah,
If
Yeah.
tax,
yes.
payers do not come in and pay their taxes, no, we're not gonna get
Well,
what we,
that's what's happened with the park. I mean,
Right,
yeah, and that can happen with any budget. I mean, that doesn't have to be just this. Just because we got it, doesn't mean
that's right, just because you got it don't mean that you're
we can
gonna.
go out and spend it.
They've got set values there at the top, I say, just got this.
I don't know if we need a motion on it.
Well, I guess, yeah, I guess, I would only, I mean, the question is, like Sarah said, if we want to appeal something, we've got to do it by 3/12, and so the only motion you need to, I mean, that's what you need to ask, is there anything that the council sees that they want to particularly appeal?
I'm gonna give you just a couple minutes to review it, well, that's a long time for.
Yeah, for a county budget, that's pretty good.
Well, I can narrow it real quick for you. You got everything you asked for, and you know what happened to Clark County when they went in and cut.
Yeah.
So that ought to tell you whether you wanna appeal or not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to be flippant.
You know, you bring me up to date on this rainy day, and I know our funds is going down in our budget in there. In column B, that's is on page 102 of DLG budget. It's under rainy day, it's 61. And,
Right at the top here.
yeah,
Oh,
column,
on the-
I'm back here on the other sheet.
What page on that?
Well, it says 1 of 2, but
At
it's
the
going
top.
back.
37.
Okay, he's way back, he's
Okay.
He's behind,
Yeah,
the
probably.
table, fund report 3 of 3, he's behind that.
Now, the only way that rainy day fund can be funded is basically the state saying that
You're
we can
too
put
far back,
money in there.
really.
I mean, it's
Yes.
nothing from any cost savings or gains that we do within the county, correct?
When I do settlements, if there is any 2008 prior delinquents, part of that money can go into it,
Okay,
but it's not very much
all
anymore.
right,
Or
so,
if the state does a special disbursement,
Or if
Now go
you,
back. Now go.
if you reduce, or if like we had, at one time we had the jail bond, and we paid everything off. Okay, after that jail bond was paid, we paid everything off, we still had some money left in that jail bond. Well, what the state says then, we knew, and we didn't need it, we wanted to move the money out of the jail bond so we could use it other places. So, if you have like that, where we had excess money like that, then that money like that then goes into the rainy day fund. You can't put it in county general, but you can put it in the rainy day fund, then, and it can be spent for whatever that you would need it for. That's another way that you get rainy day
In a
money.
general sense, the answer is yes, you're correct.
But there's no real way during a budget time where we set aside X amount of monies to
No.
go in, so it can only be.
Well,
general-
I guess you can, like if you had an excess in your county general, like we came up with
you can.
$500,000 excess in county general and stuff that you're not gonna
That's-
spend, then you can put that into rainy day fund.
You're limited to that, and they're gonna show, they're gonna carry that over on you in terms of excess. I mean, it
So
goes
there's
back to the point, how much, from a budgetary standpoint, how much are you benefited from saving? And the problem is, the way government budgets are set up, unlike business, you are limited to being rewarded for saving. If you try to save money 3 and 4 years in a row, you're not really gonna help anything, because what they're gonna do is come in and say, well, you got this big pile of money, you don't need to burden your taxpayers. And again, I'm not trying to say that's a good thing, I'm simply trying to say, you try to save outside of that 10%, they're gonna come say, well, no, you can't, you gotta cut your rate. We're not gonna let you tax your taxpayers to raise money just to hold, because you think 3 years from now, you're gonna do a big project.
so how did our $1,000 come in this column B then?
Probably from when I go to do settlements, whatever 08 and priors we have left over,
Okay.
which that might even be estimated.
I love some
high,
of these
but-
government incentive programs, you know, Martin, you just,
Yeah,
I love them.
right,
Really love them.
right. I mean, yeah, it is
They're
kinda
working,
stupid.
they're working real well.
Yeah. I mean, I understand your frustration about that. You try to plan long-term, and you kind of get in debt.
Okay, at this time, I'm gonna ask if anybody wants to make the motion appeal or.
I'll make the motion to approve
Do you
Not appeal, and
appeal.
an appeal?
I'll second.
Call for a vote then to not appeal.
One question here, non-identified revenue, 300,000, it sounds like a lot of money, not really what it comes from, where does that come from?
That's just that could be,
Combination of a lot of,
yeah, I mean, that could be somebody came in and, I don't know how to word it. Maybe it's copy method, maybe it's, well, it's various things.
Yeah,
it's
It's
just
not gonna
hypothetical,
have its own
Marvin.
specific
It,
line.
it could be leftover monies from other federal grant projects we had many years ago,
Yeah,
not to use a particular term.
Have your revenue.
like the
Yes.
first, yeah,
Yeah, like revenue sharing.
Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, we had a motion and a second, I'm called for a vote not to appeal. All those in favor? Unanimous. I say that, Randy got his hand up, right, but Gary can.
I'm checking online.
So we need to sign off on this today then, is that correct?
You just did.
Yeah, okay. All right,
Can I go back to some of my yellow
yes, you
lines
can,
here?
you can. Feel free.
Oh, my.
No, I see all these
You
highlights.
thought, you thought you were gonna have a quick meeting?
Emergency telephone systems, just, you know, this trend is continuing. 1153, we're minus 49,000, and then on the other line over on 1210 on the next page, you see we're at a zero ending balance. Nice, it's coming out of our general fund, right? And we're, even though we're continuing, we're paying the bills, and it just reduces our, it's not budgeted, it's, we're already behind. Here it is, March in that, so we've got another 9 more months of negative gonna be happening there.
Just don't, well, it will be on that one.
And then
Well, the
911.
legislatures,
I mean,
Well,
that's
I
the
know.
problem the legislature's trying to face.
when they make it.
I mean, guys, yeah, we went through it, and, I mean, trying to raise that rate isn't gonna help you.
Have we got any income coming in on that that we can be speaking of, for this year?
No, I mean, you're talking about 911, that's
Yeah,
all,
this is
that's all from the
It
telephone.
just comes in.
Yeah,
see?
it just comes in.
Regular billing, probably getting less as more people go.
Yeah.
So I see a trend here.
And
Correct.
unless the state takes care of it, I mean, we're just, I don't know what we're gonna do.
You see a trend where you're gonna end up having to pick that up, that negative balance up with something out of
I see $25,000
rainy day,
a month.
gambling, or general fund.
I see $25,000 a month, right, is that what I'm seeing?
You may be,
Now, there'd be a possibility they could make that retroactive.
Sure.
If they do pass it.
sure.
Okay.
But
But if nothing happens on it from the state level, we will have to act on it.
Well, it's gonna be just keep taking out of our,
well, that's what
Hey,
they
We're
do.
gonna have to, budget time, we're gonna have to.
Yes.
As we're current, whether that's the legislation
Yes.
or act, it wouldn't matter. But in this case, certainly,
Unless they made it retroactive.
give us some money.
Yeah.
Other than that, we'll have to.
you know, understanding the other things, and of course, you know, not knowing sometimes when some of the timetables come in as far as revenue coming in, to speak, I see this as a real issue. You know, it is. It's about $250,000 issue to the county right now in the Navy for the year. And that's the way I see it. And how you jump over that hurdle, you know, other than you're paying the bills, but our budget is gonna be skewed. You know, it is. Motor vehicle highway, I guess that's asphalt on 1176, we don't,
That's not just asphalt, that's utilities out there, that's personnel, that's stone,
so
ground.
we're at an ending cash balance on that particular line of 143
As of right until we get the next draw.
next draw, and when is that?
It came in today.
Oh, it came in today, okay, it came
Alright.
in today.
Okay, thank you.
Was there enough to cover the negative?
I didn't look at it.
I mean, your highway budget will be whatever you budgeted
Right.
for this year. Now,
Just watch it balance.
yeah, it may dip in the red, but it will come out.
Okay.
And we should be working within our means, because once they give, in that budget, there should have been some numbers that we're gonna get for the year when we done the budget last year in your
Yeah,
book.
highway.
There's NVH numbers that is the amount of monies that we're supposedly supposed to receive. And in our last one of our meetings, we covered that on Gadget and Edit and those, they're fairly well solidified because there's a drag on those. delay on those, what was collected the year before is what we get. So, you know, they're fairly firm that we're gonna get those. I mean, fairly firm. I use that word fairly.
You call me a pessimist.
No, I'm just saying that we're gonna get X amount of dollars in over a given time, it's gonna come back.
Right.
But if we can't consume any more than what they're going to dedicate to, or that they have dedicated to us in that budget.
Well, we'll end up with another negative line. Okay, rainy day fund, just 4 point, concerned about that dwindling. I mean, it didn't dwindle in there, but that's not a very big rainy day fund for
Oh,
the size of budget that we have.
Well, and,
and it'll be dwindled by.
and you mentioned, I mean, the rainy day fund is set up. I mean, you read that statute, it's supposed to go to zero.
Well,
And
we're gonna
I
get
mean,
there.
you know,
Yeah.
there is, the rainy day fund is kind of a unique fund. I say that unique, I mean, no, I don't think DGOF wants you to have very much money in your rainy day fund. And yeah, it's, I mean,
I
that's.
know, but I hear it brought up several times to pull money out of the rainy day fund.
That's exactly right, yeah.
Okay. The flow on the health clinic, just have give me an idea of the flow of cash going out to the clinic is like. Is it sporadic? Is it consistent? We're talking about on 4014, line 4014. Is that,
That's the immunization clinic.
okay, that's the immunization.
That's
for
Clinic
you, okay.
Park, yeah.
I thought it was the health
No.
clinic,
No.
something like that. Okay, excuse me on that. Self-insurance, caution, we're in the first third. You know, that fund in there, I mean, it's 376.79. We're in the first third of the month, of the year. That's just a word of caution. 7303, Riverboat Revenue Share. Next draw on the amount projected. You guys just had your meeting in there. Did you have any idea of when our next draw and projected money?
No,
Okay.
no, now that did go down, and I assume the reason that went down was we probably paid for the roof or something. I mean, we went down.
Is that the state board or is that the?
That's what, I think you're looking, the 7303,
Oh, are you looking at the revenue share that comes from,
I think that's
not
the
from
state.
Harrison County, but from the state?
From the state.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, that,
and we get,
That
what
just
was
comes
it, was
once
it
a year.
113 or 115,000
Yeah.
For
a
the
year?
Yeah.
and that's pretty well spent because
you
we
multiply
dedicated
it.
that to different organizations
Right.
throughout the
Right.
community.
That's the one that we give grant money out of, basically.
Well, we've got an ending cash balance of $7,200, basically.
And that ought to,
Take care of itself. all
Because
right?
most of that was paid out first year to those organizations.
Yeah, a lot of them after the
They've
first
already
year, they
made their
come in,
calls?
yes, they come
All right.
in and they ask for it right off the first of the year.
Okay.
pretty well there.
And just two more items.
Okay,
Is
go.
that all? Okay. 8899 Clerk IBD incentive post
Okay,
op. Now, in layman's terms, what is that?
that is a child support reimbursement from the state. And it is only to be used for child support related expenses, correct, Mark?
Right. That's, and that's part of what Dustin just mentioned this morning. The prosecutor's office signs contract with the state of Indiana to enforce child support collections. The state of Indiana, when you agree to spend a certain amount of money, they will reimburse you. It used to be 66 and
I think it's
2/3.
still 66.
Is it, they will reimburse you that budget, 66 and 2/3, as you spend it, but you have to spend it up front, and then they
And
reimburse
then
it back.
this is like extra, this isn't just this.
Is that it? There used to be some incentive that if you hit
That's what
certain
this is.
amounts,
Yeah,
then the state would, through federal government money, would kick, I shouldn't say that, guy. They would, if you hit certain goals, you would get what is known as incentive money. And that is money for doing a good job in terms of your collection of child support. So that's what that is, that's all simply based again on how many child support cases you're running, how much money you're collecting, how much money you can get from turnips,
Okay.
you know, blood out of a stone and all that kind of
Okay.
thing.
lied to you, there was two other lines. I want to reiterate on 9101, the Plan Commission. I submitted in a contract bill to the auditor's office for the Plan Commission, which was the first half. We went on a contractual agreement to do the land use planning, which the total bill for the project was around $28,000. We had about $14,000 left over from last year that we didn't utilize, but then we had budgeted another $14,000 for this year. So that expenditure is consumed into this land use draft is what we're doing with the facilitator. So just a point of fact, you'll see that drawn down, but there was $14,000. Now, I talked to Michelle a little bit. We talked about encumbering or recurring the money back from last year's budget because we had a new budget of $14,000.
And we did that all in the commissioner, not the commissioners, but in the county general's plan commission portion.
Okay. So we're covered there on that.
Yeah.
And then adult protective services, status probation, I guess this is
No, that's all state money.
state money. All right.
I'll have one.
Yes,
On
go
the
Marty.
first page, Riverboat, have we paid anything out on the acquisition of property?
No. Oh, sorry, John, no.
Not out on the acquisition of property, have we paid anything out of that for roads?
I don't think, I don't know.
I don't know.
So you're looking at where we was 927,000, and we're down, you're looking at where we was.
No, I'm looking, last item on page.
Yeah. We had 927, and now we're down to 724. See, my question is, I think the roof.
Well, we paid, yes, we did pay the roof,
That was
150,000
150 plus
on,
thousand.
yes.
Okay, so the big commitments we have to come out of that eventually will be the acquisition of property and, the one I mentioned, roads. Right. But we'll need like 900,000, when both of those do come out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think from my last information I got from Michelle, you helped me out here, we still owe that 500,000 out of that on the bypass.
Mm-hmm.
We got that, of course, the roof, I think, was taken care of on this last go-around, there. And then, of course, we're gonna be talking about the parks at some point in time, what we're gonna do there. And, had a number there, and that was the other 55, and then this was the third. So I assume between that 150 and that 33, that was all roof money that come out of Riverboat this last go-around.
But we haven't paid
Yes, but,
for the flat part that's gotta be done.
Oh, the
Right.
additional 33?
right, that's not been paid.
Okay,
It's
that's not been
done
paid,
yet.
so there must have been some other that come out because it was a hundred.
The highway did pay some, they encumbered some money in a line item.
Okay.
And did pay, 53,000.
So about how much we're gonna owe yet when everything's done on the roof?
Well, the whole project is,
It's 30,
yeah.
was it 32,600, the work order, the change order, or 30, it's 30, or 33,260.
We added about
32,260,
33,000 in for that.
33,260, something like that's what it is.
Yeah, somewhere in that, yeah, that number.
You still owe 580,000 plus dollars, 500,000 for the road, or is it 550 for the road,
For the,
for the
Bypass.
bypass?
Okay, 500. Well, we were saying 500, some saying it might be a little less than
And
that.
And you've got,
36,000.
what is
It
it,
might be
400 or
400,
500?
That'd be less.
That'd be less.
I don't,
Well, even, I mean, if you take 400,000 out of that.
no, it doesn't add up yet. Now, of course, some money coming in all the time. Don't know when.
I mean, it's gonna bring us drain it.
Are we done with archaeological digs?
No.
Yeah.
No. Still got a bill this year coming.
Well,
We went that, we're
Right,
done
yeah.
we're done with the digging.
yeah,
He was not gonna have his final bill until this year.
right.
And or his final report, and when that final report hits, there's gonna be a bill out of that. That was, we went over that all last year.
In fact, he kind of sent a letter to that effect, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, I contacted him and he
Yeah.
sent us a letter. Now, I think we've got that all in there, that money is in there. But we have calculated that as part of all the money,
Okay.
but
I do appreciate that.
it's
All right.
just dragging
We like
forever
getting
today.
one next year too.
Well, and the door's wide open.
Well,
to
sure.
turn into something anytime.
Well,
Try to
sure.
get it.
I mean,
That's correct.
no, that excavation went right, it's going right over. What's this list?
$800 some $800 state and county spent on that. That's silly.
All right, any other questions on our financial report before I move forward?
I'm sorry about exhausting you with.
No, I tell you what, I found that very informative, because as you're asking those questions, I'm learning also, so I appreciate you doing that. Because it is a learning process. An ongoing learning process, I might add.
Especially when you're junior year.
We talked about who's your his. Okay, anybody else got anything on the council that you want to discuss before I move out into the audience? Nothing else? Okay, if nothing else, Jack, I'm gonna look at you and ask you to, got any thoughts on what's happening in the Economic Growth
Economic
Partnership?
Growth Partnership, we've had 25 leads here the past 6 weeks, and 23 of them didn't fit. 2 of them we're actively pursuing. And Sabrina's working tax abatements. We've sent out about 30 notices on tax abatements, and they'll be coming back and they'll be being reviewed. So that's about all I have to report.
When do we have to have this reviewed?
They just depend on when they were given
Yeah,
their
okay,
staggered.
they're staggered on,
Yeah.
on base when they file forms to the.
Any questions?
So you had, how many contacts, Jack?
25 leads.
And you're actively pursuing 2 of those 25? Okay. All right. Mr. Mishler? Go, bring us up to date on the,
All right, on the tornado. Where do I begin? Okay. I met with, myself and David Brown were there in Beacon on Saturday, meeting with the Indiana Department of Homeland Security about reimbursement. So we're gonna have to be working with the auditor's office and seeing how much we can get reimbursed on all the expenses that are gonna be coming in. But, you know, the highway department, and along with the volunteers, did a great job. I mean, they had the roads all passable probably by about 3 o'clock Saturday. There is, so we're gonna be, it's just gonna be an ongoing process with the Department of Homeland Security on getting our reimbursements. We have to have everybody turning in detailed time slips, you know, such as the highway department. We got the landfill open yesterday, or actually opened it on Sunday. That leaves, that brings up a whole other thing that I need to bring up is the landfill. We do not have the capability of that landfill to take all that refuge. So
now you're talking about not only organic, but the other refuge that's gonna be picked up
We're
also.
gonna have to, I've been on the phone with, Homeland Security and IM, and Clark County, they're burning everything that isn't that doesn't give off toxic, and we really need to get the word out for people to somehow create burn points, you know. I think the highway department, I talked to, Gerald Shanks, and we're gonna have to, on the right of ways, come up with areas maybe that we can place all this wood if people want to cut it. firewood, but we can't be taking all this stuff to the landfill. And then same thing with metal, if it's recyclable, I think we just need to start creating drop points on those particular roads that the highway department can pick up and, or, if individuals, if the homeowners wanna take it, or if anybody wants to come down there to take metal and anything that they can salvage to make money off of, we encourage that, because we're to the point where we were wanting to hold off building the next cell in the landfill in 2013. And if we start taking all that debris, even on the organic side, there's not a lot of room even on the organic side of the landfill to start taking trees, so that's kind of where our next step is on the cleanup. But it's just
Can you do that at the landfill? And could you
Well,
make burn piles
yeah,
at the landfill?
but the cost of
Hauling it?
hauling.
Well, I understand that.
Yeah.
Getting to that point.
But I mean, better than sticking it in the cell. I mean, if it shows
Yeah,
up out there, can
Well,
they do
I
some
really
separation?
think we need to burn it out at the sites,
Well,
whether
fine.
right there, if we have, or at least somewhere close, if we have an area that, a field that a homeowner will let us, or a property owner will let us create a point to just create a big burn pile. But, the county's only responsible for the right-of-ways. We wanna help out as much as we can, but I don't know what the federal government and the state's gonna reimburse on.
Or even
cleaning.
individual insurance companies,
Yeah.
homeowners insurance.
The insurance companies should be paying for a lot of this.
Here's my biggest question, I think, is all the needs of the families been met as far as shelter and those kind of things are concerned? And far as help and need
From what
to
I've
guide them
seen
through
is,
the,
everybody's been staying with family members. I
Okay.
think there may have been one
I didn't
family that
think the shelters were being
they
utilized.
were being utilized, through yesterday they hadn't been. And Merlin can tell you what's going on down at the Deacon Methodist Church. There's just a whole, they have, I think all the clothes they could almost take. It's been pretty overwhelming.
They do not want any more clothes at this time. Water, looked like they were water jug in the county's there.
Yeah.
It's even stacked outside, and I was told Tuesday, or yesterday, I guess, that, I even hate to say this because the word gets out, well, then here will come abundance and maybe too much, but there wasn't even flashlight batteries, small cheap flashlights,
I'm seeing Marcia make the note there, get it out of what they need, I was just
I'm
going.
hesitant on even saying it, but gloves was one thing too, of course with this snow, everything's wet. And, but that's what I was told by, it wasn't Desi herself, but it was her sister and one of the girls. But they definitely, just looking at the pile of clothes, I can see I can see why they make that comment.
Has anybody from like Red Cross or any of the other agencies contacted you all about things of need that they might want you to publish to get them out there to them? Has anybody contacted?
Not that I'm aware of, but we talked to the people at the shelter in Salem. There was a little banner that ran across salemleader.com yesterday, and it said, no more clothes. And it listed, I believe, cleaning supplies, gloves, batteries.
Candles was another one.
And I know Methodist was taking cash donations down there also so they could fill in the voids where, tangible goods maybe would slide here, they might be able to purchase things to help folks out.
And they did stress that cash, cash. But I understand that cash is supposed to be funneled in where it supposedly would be secure, for a better word, and get to the right place. Now, our church isn't going to take up a collection until next Sunday. There's donations coming in, but we're ours as well next Sunday.
I talked to Desi this morning before I came out here.
Okay.
And so I was worried about it for one thing. and, cause I hadn't heard from her. And she told me, cause I had got emails from our fellow auditors asking this morning, asking about our county and asking about our employees and stuff and what they could do to help. So before I answered their email, I called Des to ask her what I could do to answer their emails. And she said that if they are writing a check, which she said is the best thing for them to do, then the check would go to the American Red Cross, Clark County chapter for Washington County. Then she said, then that strictly then will come back to Washington County. And she also said the same thing, said that they are not asking for any supplies and stuff now at this time because they are so overwhelmed with supplies that we do not need any of that.
And I'd suggest that they call the church. You know, if somebody wants to go get toothpaste or anything like that, qualities, that they would call first.
The checks need to be mailed to the Clark County chapter office in Jeffersonville too.
What's FEMA gonna pay us? I mean, are they gonna, is it 100%, is it 80%?
You know, the first 12 hours, I believe, we don't get, whatever was spent the first 12 hours after the disaster occurred, we don't get paid by Indiana, but maybe we can get some federal, I mean, there's a lot of complications, and we gotta muddle through it, you know, who's paying what and when.
You know, it's interesting, well, not interesting in the word, but just vision this morning there peeking, I think like 7 porta pots. You don't think of something like that, but I think 4 were sitting there by the fire department. Just things like that people don't even think about.
Yeah, I mean, just things like that getting reimbursed now, I mean, it's just gonna be, the auditor's office is gonna dread all this, that's all I can say.
And this is something that, it isn't gonna be over tomorrow.
You know,
The way I understand our gym there, Family Life Center, is gonna be open all week.
yeah.
For, now, that isn't a place where people can come and stay. It's for just distribution, I'd call it. Because someone said Saturday night, people were standing around eating hot dogs, didn't even have a place to sit. There's so much miscellaneous stuff in there.
Jack, did you have a comment?
Yeah, Washington County Community Foundation's opened up a Washington County Disaster Fund, and anybody wants to contribute, there'll be helping.
And that, well, I assume will be in the paper.
How will those funds be dispersed, Jack?
I don't, they'll be distributed to the board, I assume, but I don't know exactly. If this came out, Judy sent out an email yesterday.
I saw the email, but I just
All
wondered
the
if you
board
could.
members, and I don't know if that's, how that's, whether it'll go to the Red Cross or Salvation Army, or how it'll be used.
Does that go directly to Community Foundation or the bank?
It goes to the Community Foundation,
Okay, it goes directly.
and it's deductible.
I never seen a cemetery tore up so bad in my life as Mount Washington.
Church is going.
Church is plumb gone. And
What's
those,
it in that?
those stones are, no. Can you imagine the way they are? They're just, if nobody's seen it, if some of you need to drive down there and look at it, it's,
So your wife established a small fund to help support that, didn't she? But that's gonna take a lot of help.
Okay. Any other comments?
Just, I mean, not only just the public support, we had so many people coming into the Beacon Firehouse that, I think that Desi Alexander just needs to be commended for the job she did.
And the other gal,
And
Ashley, what's her name?
it's Rick,
She's my second cousin, I think.
Rick Rave's daughter, she was helping.
Well, Fred Terrell's daughter is the one I was talking about.
Okay.
Burton, maybe is her name.
And,
Oh, yeah, she's married to a bird now, Rogers Lane.
Okay, yeah,
But they
Kevin
really-
Lawson was highly involved, and he said that those girls, he never seen how they had things organized.
and
That it's
Sean,
unbelievable under the shock and everything, how cool they were, and cool and calm and making decisions. So they need to be commended.
I think there's a lot of things that needs to go out to Friday evening, our school system worked in conjunction with Eastern about some displaced students. There's about 80 of them. And the outpouring over there was just tremendous, the amount of staff that stayed and other people, volunteers, that come to help make sure those kids were delivered safely home. And just, I just think about how in this moment of chaos, even though there was chaos, there was a coming together and a beginning to focus on the need at hand. And I was just really impressed myself from the places I visit, how things were being conducted, how they were being handled, how dispositions were remaining fairly calm and cool in a time of well, I may have been going a little berserk myself, but a lot of people was maintaining their calm and reserve and seeing that things got done. And even those folks who come from outside of our county that come in assistance too was just a tremendous deal. So
The radio station was a good benefit too, because I know myself, I went to the ambulance service to see what I could do as far as any items they needed and things they needed, because I knew, we had all these people coming in from, they was from Bloomington, Indianapolis, as far as ways you could think. And gosh, they got there, it was tremendously quick that we had an enormous amount of ambulance personnel. The only problem we had, we didn't have maps for them, and they didn't have ability to know. So I was able to get maps gathered up and got those out there and just kind of seen to the problems that they had because of knowing the local area and where we could derive things. But WSLM really helped because, I was trying to make cell phone calls and couldn't get through on a lot of them. We could listen to the radio, and she was getting some calls in from the officials and so forth, and you could listen to that and knew kind of what was going on, and it really helped.
I think the county could help out as far as to get the burn permits by IDM.
I don't know if you even have to have a burn permit. I think basically it's at the local level.
Yeah.
If the county has a burn ban, which I'm not 100% we do.
I don't think we have.
Well,
not during
not
non-drought
with the weather.
periods, yeah.
Unless it's dry.
Unless you declare it, yeah.
But,
I don't think we do.
so they said it's at the local level, if you're not burning anything toxic, that just burn it, and so we just need to.
Yeah, because I know when we did individual places, not only the right-of-ways, but the individual places, the only thing we could do, a lot of those houses were right on ridges, and, and you just took it out to the edge and stuff, but there's a lot of debris yet to be picked up, we just moved it out of the way so that utilities could get in there and set poles, that's all we did.
Well, I think it maybe ought to be advertised pretty good, because I think there's several people in the community that, you'll see them going down the road with a load of junk, they get it up, and I feel there's a lot of people that come around, even if they keep it themselves, that's gonna get it out of the way and save the landfill, so I think that should be expressed pretty strong, to give the opportunity anyway.
One of the problems I think that, so many communities get into and things like this is when they have contractors that come in from outside that are not legitimate. And I think, if we can just keep that in people's minds so they don't get taken advantage of, this is certainly not a time to have that happen.
That's
We should
right.
always have those groups that
I
try
sat
that.
down there at the ballpark field at Pekin, and within 10 minutes, there was trucks pulled up there and stuck signs in there for handyman and roof repair services in there, while we were waiting to figure out which way to go from the city hall. I saw that, and I go, I can't believe this.
Bob, have you seen a theme here where you need to collect all the legal taxes that you can possibly collect, my friend?
Well, on a good note, we did send out courtesy letters on the properties that were gonna be up for tax sale this year. And got a pretty good response out of that. I think we collected probably around $250,000 from them.
Well, last number I heard, there was maybe like 1 million something still out there
Yeah,
that hadn't been paid.
yeah, this is cutting into that.
Anything else you got today?
I do, I want to say one other thing. If you want to save the county money, it'd be nice if everybody signed up for email billing on their taxes.
You know, she's looking at me.
I thought you already had my email address.
I don't know, if you don't, that's what all you have to do is go up to the.
So you haven't emailed us telling us we can do this yet, you're just verbally.
I'm just verbally telling you that. Now, you have to sign the application to do it.
And we gotta come to your office to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can go online and pull it up, it's under SRI.
Marcia, you got anything?
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. This is sort of an invitation, and sort of an announcement. Awareness Washington County is sponsoring a series of trainings called Team Leadership for Advanced Facilitation Training. And we are beginning next week. It's March 13th, 20th, April 3rd, 10th, and then it's also scheduled for the 17th and 24th. These are all Tuesdays. However, we discovered that the 17th and 24th are conflicts with some of the political forums, and so those will probably be rescheduled when we see who finishes signing up for the workshop series. But we really need to know by the end of this week if we're going to be able to have it or not. We need to have a minimum of 10. More would be even better. A lot of people, I think, have not signed up because they think, well, I'm already a political leader, I'm already facilitating this or that, therefore I don't need to do that. And I wish that they would reconsider, because I know when I was teaching, I taught for 35 years. The thought of not going through continuing education was ridiculous. You've got to keep fresh, you've got to keep thinking. I personally am not going to go to a doctor who got his degree and license 20 years ago and has not participated in any ongoing education since then. I don't trust him. You have to know what's going on. The series is designed for people who are currently serving in public office, people who are seeking public office, anybody sitting on a board, whether it's a public board or a governmental board or a nonprofit board, group leaders, somebody who's in charge of the Boy Scout troop, Girl Scout troop, whatever, 4-H, committee members. You're on the board at your church, or you're on the building committee at your church. This series should assist you with working together with the people that you have to work with. And basically anybody who's interested in improving the county. You do have to register in advance so that we know how many materials or how much material to have ready, and so that we'll know if we can go ahead and actually have the training. So how do you find out, how do you register? You can go to www.awarenesswashingtoncounty.org. Kind of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? But that's our website. You can call me or email me, or Debbie Mildenberger. And probably the best way to get hold of me this week is on my office phone at SOAR, which is 896-1515. If I'm not there, I'll get the message. But I really hope that we get several more people signing up this week so that we can go ahead and have it. We did have a plan for last year and didn't get very many people to sign up, and so we had to cancel it.
And there's a fee applied to that, Margie?
There is. It is
What's that?
$100 for 6 nights.
Includes meals and
That includes
materials.
all the meals, and heck, you can't get 6 meals a lot of places for $100. So it does include your meals and a resource binder, all the handouts, and of course, all the learning.
And when's your deadline on needing to know? I ought to know
Well,
this, but I
it
didn't.
was supposed to be Wednesday, but I think maybe we'll squeeze it to Thursday. But I don't know. We have not begun. We have all our materials compiled. We have the curriculum ready. We have the schedule all set, and so on. What we haven't begun doing is duplicating the materials, because we didn't want to duplicate enough for 10 people, discover we had 12 and have to do it all over again. We didn't want to duplicate it for 15 and discover we weren't even gonna have it, so now we have stacks of stuff sitting around at the building. So we're holding off on the actual duplication, but we need a few days to do that. You can't just go poof and you have
And if
this
I
big
understand,
manual
it's,
done.
did you say 5 sessions?
6
sessions, okay,
sessions, and they're all, right now, they're all Tuesdays.
okay.
But, and from 5:30 till 9. And they are at the Awareness Washington County Building, which is 198 Joseph Street. But then, like I said, those last 2 sessions, what we'll probably do is, at the first session, we'll talk with those people who have actually registered, and then determine the dates for, you know, how many people are going to be affected by the political forums. And then we certainly wouldn't want, for example, someone who's a candidate to either not be able to go to the forum or not be able to come to the series, you know, to have to make that choice. So we'll redo those dates when we get everybody there to see what's going to fit their schedules.
Okay.
Anybody have any questions? Thanks.
Thank you, Margie. Sarah, you have anything this morning?
Yes, Indiana Proud is sponsoring another Open Door Seminar, and it's going to be held on April 5th from 6:30 to 8:30 at the Shelter House, if it's still there. I mean, I don't want to make a joke, but I mean, is everything okay with the Shelter House?
People in Pekin, I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so in Pekin, that's when it's going to be. Now, Joseph Hogue or Katie Bryles Williams, maybe, I don't know which one's going to actually do it, but it's already been set up. The shelter house has been rented and it's ready to go. Now, the reason that we're bringing this forward is that the laws have changed, I think, and I'm not real sure, but on the open door laws where you can actually be personally fined if you break the law, basically. So they're trying to put teeth in it. I don't know if that's passed or not. Also, they've been trying to push through the meeting notifications through emails and that kind of thing. So there are things to really look at. It's more of a continuing education also. It will come up during the election process. If if you are running for office, if you are in office, the election process, transparency will be a big thing during the election season. I do want to put forward that as a personal guarantee. So here's the training. Be able to go ahead and say, to anybody who asks you, who is asking for your vote or who is keeping you in, that yes, I've taken care and taken notice of these resources, and I'm here to represent you, keep myself up on the laws. But anyway, you need to notify me if you want to attend. I want to keep the numbers around 20 to 30 people. And we'll have a more detailed announcement in the paper here pretty soon. So are there any questions
So
on that?
tentatively, April 5th, at what time again?
It's 6:30 to 8:30,
Pekin?
Pekin Shelter House.
Shelter House.
And it's sponsored by Indiana Proud, and of course, the state is actually bringing people forward on this.
And again, Rhonda, I want to thank you for the gifts you provided. Like I say, they were well received down there. And of course, the information inside, we made sure
Oh, it stayed in?
it stayed, yes.
Well, because, go ahead.
It was just, everybody kind of looked at them and was kind of pleased with the deal. And like I say, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, they're magic. They're wonderful things. Thank you so much.
Okay, anything else to be brought up?
John, is there anything else that we need, that we can do, or, the equipment? Is there any ongoing stuff in there? Because, after a while, we had our equipment in there, but we had to get out of the way of the utilities
Yeah.
out in the work.
I'm gonna guess they probably, utility, Rob's laying there by, in Pekin there by that Jordan Lake, that was really like 6 subdivisions. I don't think they've got the utility lines in there anytime soon. That's the thing, they're kind of
power came back on down there last night.
Did it? Good.
Well, I say that, my brother lives on, just right around the corner there. Not saying theirs come on over there, but I think they had it on last night. His come on, and he's at the, believe it or not, his power runs through that subdivision and comes across, and he's the last one on the run.
Okay.
And his come on about 5:30 last night when I was down there. So I'm gonna assume that since he got it, and I may be wrong, they may reroute it to get that side, I don't know.
It may be up just in the Daisy Hill area that they haven't got the lines run, but they're working pretty quick. But as far as, at this point in time, it's whether you've got homeowners that want you on their property to help them clean up is where we're at. And, so, I can't really answer that.
Okay.
You know, it's just down to, it's just the cleanup and how we're going to tackle it as a county and how much we can do. Like, most people, if they have insurance on their house, the insurance is gonna pay for the cleanup. But I just hope that they just don't start piling up, you know, they'll take these box things and roll them off on the property. If they start putting trees and debris in there, I have a real concern what that's gonna do to the capacity of our landfill. It's gonna fill it up quick, and the cost of hundreds of thousands of dollars to build new cells, so. If we can just get the word out, you know, the newspaper, and have people try to separate the burnable things.
Anybody got a question? Is there a contact they can call if they have questions about your discussion here? Did I give it out his phone number? He knows that.
Call John Mitchell at, let's see, I got his number.
I don't know, you know, well, I would say the
Could we
highway,
set
I
up-
would say the highway department, you know, because they're aware,
I'll
They're in the middle of this.
300 bucks.
Well, there ought to be somebody they can call
Just
that
on
give
the
them
highway
the answers that
department.
they need.
they're gonna, I mean, they have to clean the right of ways, and if people just start stacking it on the right of ways, we don't want things all mixed up, I guess, you know, so. They can call me, I mean, that's fine,
You have an emergency director?
I mean, Desi would be good.
Well, Desi needs to have the answers. I mean, she needs to be advised of what the expectations
Yeah.
is from whomever, so she can know how to legitimately answer those questions that's
I
going to
have
be asked.
talked to her about things that do, you know, burn. We just need to burn what can be burned.
Yeah, I seen a lot of people last night. burning.
Is it actually lawful now to burn? I've
As
heard
long as
it.
it's not toxic.
That would
You
be,
can't burn plastics.
well, that ought to be stressed,
Yeah,
because first thing you know,
yeah.
somebody will burn a bunch of that, and then they'll get sent to penitentiary.
Don't wait for jail.
All
Well,
right.
you know what I'm trying to say.
I know exactly what
Come
you're
to our facility first, and we don't.
Got a question for Bob on the airport?
Bob, on the airport, question, glad you reminded me, thank you. On the airport funding, I know we have paid, I know we have paid 75 out of edit towards that 225 that we were committed to. As far as the federal funding, and I had asked this question in the last meeting, are they staying true to their commitment for this airport?
No,
Okay.
they just changed in the last 2 weeks.
Okay, so is it advisable to us not to spend any more of
No.
our money?
we
I mean, I'm gonna look right and say, I'm not looking to spend a lot of money for something out of county pocket that's going to be nixed and not be backed up by those who put us in this position of,
That's,
where
there
we
was a
at?
meeting held, I wasn't at that meeting, last week, between the mayor and the air board and our engineer. What has happened, the federal government withheld funding from the FAA, and when they finally granted it, it was with a stipulation, and it's a law that they can only grant 90% funding rather than 95. So, state of Indiana is aware of the projects that are going on in Indiana, shut down. But he said no, that, he thought in 2 or 3 years, when we actually needed the money to build on the airport, that the city would have that. Also, I have contacted, Todd Young, and, as far as the federal end of it, they can't do anything because when Obama gave the money to FAA with the stipulation, it would only, and in fact, it's law, that they can only fund 90%. But he is in the process of trying to find us some grants to cover that cost.
And how much money is that?
On my calculator, it's 5% of 23 million.
That's $1 million. Millions. 157. So,
But that's where we're at right now.
so I don't misconstrue this statement. Our share locally would be $1 million.
Well,
Something.
now the state's gonna pay, NDOT's gonna pay, 2.5% of the total.
Of the total project.
Yes.
That's another 400.
Yeah. What it's gonna make us come up with is 10% altogether, 2.5% NDOT paying, so we have to go up to 7.5% altogether.
And what's that in real dollars? You didn't put any percents there for me. Calculate my
I
hand.
used to be able to do that, but I used to use the calculator.
Could you,
Mark's got.
just get a number worked up sometime?
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah,
what are you
that's
looking
no
at,
problem.
7%
Mark's
of
got his.
23 million?
Yeah.
7.5%.
.075, is that what it'd be?
Yeah.
172,000, no, $1,725,000. 1.725.
And how much will the state reimburse on that, or will on that? You said 7.5.
That was our 7.5.
Oh, that was our thing.
That was out.
That's our amount.
Yeah.
So the county would be on the hook for,
Well,
No,
I mean, the city out of the airport.
Some don't do it for.
somebody's gonna have to come up with $1,725,000.
And we're committed for another,
With the money we've got the 725, so it's about $1 million. And the crazy part about this law is only in effect for 4 years. So if this extends out, we could end, that's what happened with NDOT. They dropped us back to 1.25%, and now this year they're back up to 2.5%. So they've told me at the end of 4 years, it can be redone and we could be back to 95%. It's a joy of dealing with the government.
so we can safely say, or can we?
We can't safely say anything.
That's what I was afraid of. Even if we spend this money, we still may not get to the airport.
No, we're committed on the airport. There's
We're
no-
committed on the airport. It's just where the money comes from to pay for the airport.
We're committed on the airport because FAA gives us a chance to back out, and Mayor says, no, go for it, because in 2 or 3 years, he's got it figured out. A lot of the projects that they're working on now will be completed. And he says we will have the money. Between that and the sale of the airport.
I'd get them in a local agreement on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd get them in a local agreement that the city's gonna give them that money. I mean, if I were the airborne, because the county's not gonna have it.
no, and the county's not responsible for it.
But we're concerned about the other three, we're concerned about the other 150,000 where we're coming from.
Well, we don't want to be spending money out the door that there's not going to be any end game to that amount.
Right,
No benefit from that money.
right.
I mean, and maybe,
Well, see,
maybe we shouldn't be this concerned about maybe everything, maybe we just don't have enough information about what's happening,
I'm sure that's
you
right.
know.
And there will be more information coming. That's just the information I've got right now, because this is all pretty new. This has just been.
That we don't want an airport, it's that we don't want to be hooked for some money and nothing see
not
no
getting anything
benefit.
in return.
Yeah.
See, what we did, when we lost that money to NDOT, which we've gotten back now, that's when we decided to go ahead and build a 3,000-foot one. Now, the 23 million is the 5,000-foot. So, we can get a 3,000-foot one done, get it operating, and then we can sell the old one. We can't sell the old one until we've got another strip running.
Got a strip and up and running.
Yeah.
All right, any further business we need to discuss?
Oh, Ben, I might tell you, Dan, what he whispered when he came in here was that, Subject, they've been around and they've got all the computers up and running and everything is all right for the county now.
Okay.
Is Dan gonna be around?
I don't know where he was going when you.
And I was gonna bring this up, I might as well bring it up.
Yeah.
We've got some serious phone issues at the highway department. And which includes where Desi Alexander, the 911, the building inspector Travis Elliott. You call down there, they basically have to hang up and call you back on your cell phones. And this has been going for years.
They're working on them as far as I know.
I don't know, I talked to
I
Gerald
thought
over the
Bill-
weekend.
Oh, and they hadn't done,
Basically, what I'm hearing is Bill has thrown his hands up and said it's up to Dan and,
When you say Bill, is that?
Bill works for, Cybertech.
Cybertech, he's our county.
So, they
That
can't
gentleman by
figure
the
it
name of
out.
Bill, I don't know what it's
They
like.
basically are thinking we need a whole new phone system.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. And,
What about this?
well, he's just talking about highway
Yeah,
though.
he's just talking.
He's just talking about highway.
no, I think it's,
Get on that phone system to get.
We don't
We're
have a
fine.
problem.
no, I don't mean, yeah, just the highway, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's just
just
on
the
highway.
Just the highway, but, I
On that
mean,
phone system to
it's-
for these homes.
I don't know what, I think, hopefully maybe I'll find out some information tomorrow on it, see if I can get David or Dan Neal to the commissioners meeting.
Glad you brought that up. Who wants to attend the commissioners meeting tomorrow? I do.
You will?
I will. At great sacrifice, I will. No, I'll be there.
What about the park? Anybody heard anything?
I didn't see a representative here today, so couldn't ask any of the questions.
Somebody might know.
Probably not a whole lot going on on that.
Has a computer system.
I asked Dan about that. He said, yes, they are here. But with everything going on over the weekend and everything, they did not have a chance to, work on it yet down there with everything happening over the weekend. But yes, they are here and they are at the park. So yes, the computers are here.
There's no other business, I'd like to adjourn.
I'd like for you to make a motion to.
I'd make the motion.
All those in favor?
Bye.
Aye. Thank you all for coming.
Oh, I'm sure they did, yeah, the governor from the Lions Club International Foundation, he can immediately get a $10,000 grant, just on his submission.
Hey, Harvey? I got Mitch Daniels. Yeah, he said, tell Merwin Fisher, I'm no Republican.
I was sure shook his hand. And I totally appreciate it. There's time for certain things, you know.
See these things,